cornerstone of our dialogue between the two levels of government. IBEC is where we thrash out emerging issues around functions that are devolved, functions that are reserved for the national government, and also around concurrent functions that are shared between the two levels of government. And I think so far we've done a good job. Just last month, we had Katiba Day. We were looking at 15 years of implementation of this constitution. What came out quite clearly is that devolution, despite the challenges, remains the most promising character of our constitution. As we preserve and implement our constitution, we must preserve and implement devolution, because the issues that devolution was supposed to resolve are as critical as they were 15 years ago when we enacted the constitution we have today. It is about services closer to the people. It is about decisions being made at lower levels, making those decisions most legitimate. It is about the public participating in governance. It is also about dispersal of power vertically. And it is also about moving the country where it was 15 years ago with only one center of growth, which is Nairobi, where everything was decided and financed from, to creating 47 centers of growth, simultaneously spurring the growth and renewal of our country. It is that fundamental, it is that phenomenal. So we continue to reflect on the journey that we've traveled so far as a nation, the successes we've gained, or the successes we have made, the challenges we face, but we have no option because we must implement devolution. Just 2-3 things, and so that we get started. One is that intergovernmental discussions and conversations will continue for eternity. They will not end. And so, once in a while, when we have an issue here where we cannot agree and we must keep on discussing, it should not look unusual. Countries like Australia have had intergovernmental disputes between the federal government and the lower level governments for nearly 200 years. Over 190 years, they are still discussing how much should go to the federal states, the constituent federal states, and how much should remain at the center many years later. And they don't agree. They still have the disputes we are having today. So those who think that we are having the discussions we are having because this concept is new must be prepared for the long haul, because these are conversations that will be with us for the longest time. The second thing I want to remark about is on the table at the moment we have a number of things which this morning we will be getting updates on. We are implementing one of the most consequential health reform programs that I know of. What we are doing around Taifa Care is extremely consequential. Many countries have tried and abandoned providing a publicly funded universal health system. And it's even more graphic when you look at it from a developing world perspective. So Kenya has taken a very bold step, and therefore we'll be getting at some point today from our brother C.S. Edendwale on where we are on the implementation of Taifa Care, and of course there are issues that we want to tidy up along that space as we continue perfecting this program. Around manufacturing, we decided also as a country to take the first step towards manufacturing. And the first step towards manufacturing is aggregation of products for industrial purposes. And that's why we have the KIPES program. Again, the Ministry for Investment, Trade and Industry, especially the State Department for Industry, will help us again canvass the progress we've made around KIPES. We have other pending matters that have been with us for some time. I'll just mention two of them. One is the issue of the costing of the transferred functions, which we must now confront and make sure that resources follow the functions that have been transferred. We must also find time this morning, in the limited time we have, to also get an update on where we are on the pending bills and see how we make progress. So, you know, the bills now, the pending bills now are at the level of 720 billion, out of which 172 billion is with the county governments, and we must confront that issue and resolve it once and for all. And it is not impossible. It is very possible, actually, to address the pending bills issue if we think innovatively. And I think national government has some lessons we've learned on a few areas on how to unlock some of these issues around pending bills. Lastly, we will also get an update from the Treasury, the National Treasury, on where we are on routine issues, including the schedule of disbursement, but also on the macroeconomic outlook, because the fundamentals of our economy must remain under vigilance throughout, because if they go wrong, everything else we are doing will scatter, because if the foundation is interfered with, the building is likely to falter. So we'll look at the macroeconomic situation, where we are on raising revenue and funding the two levels of government. And I want to end my remarks by just reminding us, as we pursue our programs, as we pursue our programs across the two levels of government, we must look at our economy as an integrated whole, and therefore the priority policy issues that we are implementing should not be different between the national government and county governments. And the priority issues are 5. 1, we must keep the macroeconomic fundamentals stable. Inflation, price of essential commodities, including foodstuffs, issues around interest rates, issues around the cash reserve ratio, the availability of foreign exchange, issues around the strength of the Kenya shilling. The macroeconomic fundamentals must remain constant or stable. 2, we have adopted as an administration a value chain approach to rejigging the economy, revitalizing the economy, and transforming our economy. So we have value chains in agriculture, in fisheries, value chains in livestock, and therefore our interventions at both levels of government must always address how we can increase productivity of the various value chains. Number 3, these value chains, for them to have more productivity, must be supported by infrastructure. This infrastructure is the roads, it is water, it is energy, it is ICT, and the other physical facilities we are providing, the fresh produce markets, the special economic zones, the KIPES. All this infrastructure is to make sure that the value chains are enabled to be more productive, and in the end make sure that as many people in Kenya as possible have more incomes in their pockets. Number 4, it's job creation. Everything we do must create additional jobs for more people, because we've had a situation of many years of lack of a strategy, a comprehensive strategy on job creation, and that's what has made us have a sizable youth population that both skilled and unskilled that have no opportunities. So we are very keen to make sure that we create jobs in the economy, create diaspora jobs, create jobs digitally, and all the other spaces of job creation, including unskilled jobs. There is no job that is useless. Even short-term job for one day, even casual jobs are as important, because it is better to have a short-term job than to have no job at all. Finally, of course, other than job creation, we have the social enablers that help in the transformation of the economy of the country. And here we are focusing on health. That's why we are very keen on universal health coverage, because a healthy population is a productive population, and that's how you create a wealthy nation. So the social enablers are mainly health and education. And if we put all these things together and pursue this uninterrupted, it is possible to change Kenya in our lifetime and move it from where we are to a better place. With those remarks, I want to invite my brother, the chair of the Council of Governors, to say a few things, and then we can get into the agenda of the day. Thank you very much.